Sooner Scoop HD.
Can't even keep track. I don't know how we came up with what we did. I just know that I didn't understand that we gave the offense points for punting. They get it quit,
Right.
give up, and then punt. I'm not sure how that's an achievement and pointable, but they're getting them. So I guess the defense has a little bit of, they get 5 for forcing a punt. So no, it's going to be a lot of fun. We had Jeopardy earlier today, Team Jeopardy, and that was fun. Just trying to, what our guys do year round, the demands on college football players, the scrutiny that they're under. I know a lot of people don't feel bad for them. I don't either, but I love them and appreciate them. And so let them have some fun in the middle of the doing is, when you can do that, it's a great thing. So, we obviously had to change our format, and some of that was decided by not having enough available offensive linemen to be able to put 2 teams out there, 2 separate teams. So this gives us a chance to keep the offense together and not spread them too thin. And it's going to be, like I said, going to be a fun day. It's going to be a beautiful day. And again, our guys have, this is the 1/3 of this time of the year as far as developing your team and, in this phase of the spring, and then, give our guys a chance to finish up strong in the classroom and get their bodies right. We've got, I think, 42 players are going to do paid micro internships around the country. We've got, give or take, another 20 plus guys that I think are going to South Africa to do a service trip, and then we'll get back, and at the end of May, that first few days into June, our guys are right back at it, and they'll blow right through all the way to fall camp. So it's our transformation phase of our program, and it's very real. We've got 26 mid-years. I think there's just under 40 guys that have never walked out here in an Oklahoma uniform, and so this will be their first opportunity for that. And then when we get to the beginning of June, we'll have another 12 guys will show up, maybe a few more that will join these guys. And so building our team one day at a time, and developing our identity one day at a time. It's incredibly important that our guys deeply understand how we do what we do, and then why we do what we do. And there's got to be belief in that for us to be able to to have a chance to be a team that can hang a banner. It's going to take that, and better teams do things well together. And so been really pleased with the work, the competition, the hunger, the guys that have been incredibly coachable, humble, and have come on the edge of their seat, whether it's in the meeting room or out here on the practice field. It's been a very competitive spring. So I don't have to say it quite as much that everything matters, but it does. And these guys have bought into that. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch, and it's been a lot of fun for the returning players, watching them nurture the vision of the program and the culture that we are about, and take these young guys, or new guys, even if they're competing with them, and welcome them with open arms, and try to help facilitate their transition. That's a very real thing. And certainly if a guy's stiff-arming somebody, that's a very real thing too. And to watch our guys, have humility and, just the maturity to understand that we're trying to build a great football team, and it's going to take more than just you to be our best. That's cool to see that maturation take place.
Brent, since we last spoke, you did have a couple guys enter the portal, and Jaden and Corey. Just what went into those 2 decisions?
Looking for better opportunity. I'm not one to speak for them, but Jaden, obviously he had a more of a substantial role. Corey was just still a young guy, coming up, but both of them 2 really good young guys that, again, I think you're just looking for more of an opportunity. Jaden really wants to have an opportunity to play more inside in the slot. as a defensive back, the nickel quote unquote position, and if he was going to stay here, I needed him to be corner. I got guys to play inside. So that's it. He just has his one last window to continue to develop and maybe enhance his opportunities with a better, clearer opportunity for himself. So I'm just appreciate those guys, all their hard work, while they were here.
What are the dynamics a head coach has to consider when you think about the spring portal? Losing a guy in the middle or after spring practice, and potentially getting some new guys in.
Yeah, just again, you look at your roster, what your needs are, and where you feel like somebody could make you better if it's short term, or maybe again if it's we really would rather have somebody that has a few more years in the program. There's you maybe had some great young players, but they're not quite ready to play great yet. So maybe it's a one-year guy that you're looking for that could help you continue to grow and develop as a program. Maybe create a bridge for those guys to mature and be ready. So there's a lot that goes into it, but obviously it's need based. Based on where you feel like you're not quite where you need to be, whether that's the numbers or maybe that's the play, either one or both.
Brent, is Marcus Major hurt, or what's going on?
He banged up his. He came back, was practicing, and then he just banged up his hand, and just a slight fracture that he'll be back and at it here in a couple of weeks. So, hate it for him, but we intentionally held him out. We could have started him day one at spring ball to be full go, but just wanted to help him continue to get strong and healthy and not risk him, but it really created opportunity for those other guys. Javante was out here for the first half of spring ball, and then Gavin and Tawi and Caleb Hicks and Smothers, and it gave them all a great opportunity to get a bunch of reps, and really impressed with that group of guys.
Coach, there's been a lot of discourse on social media and amongst the fan base this week about just how big a vibrant spring game environment and atmosphere can be for recruiting. So from a recruiting perspective, how large do you think the spring game can loom?
It's very large. However, what's the largest that's large? Like, it's at the top of the Richter scale. Again, the environments matter. Guys want to come and play in a championship type of environment, where it's passion. People are passionate. There's intensity. There's an expectation. There's high standards. There's support. And, this is an opportunity for us to show that, we've been an uncommon program. We're not like we all play football, but we all ain't the same. This is, the winningest program in the modern era. This is a program that has set the standard in college football for competing and winning championships, and so this is a place right here behind us that has the best winning percentage in all of college football since 2000, and so everything matters. We say that all the time. Everyone has a part in making this place special. It's a great opportunity. So whether that's on TV, and certainly we'll have 100 guys and their families here, and as they evaluate their opportunities. We're not competing against, a junior college or NAIA school. We're recruiting against the best of the best in college football. So, everything matters in their decision process, and this is a big part of it. For them to be able to play the game they love in front of a packed house and in a hostile environment, and even it's just a spring game. People love the Sooners, and as I told the players, man, don't take this for granted. This is a place that, man, these people care, and but when they come to watch the Sooners, you have an opportunity to give them hope, to give them inspiration, to give them healing. People go through whatever they're going through, life 101, but man, when they come to see the Sooners play and compete, you have an opportunity to bring them just a lot of happiness. This is as strong of an alumni group as there is in college football. The brotherhood is very real at Oklahoma, and so I just want our guys to always have perspective. I think perspective always drives performance, and when you understand that they're not impressed with you when you make this thing all about you. There's been some amazing players. College football's best to ever play the game that played right here, that put on the Sooner uniform. So you better embrace that. You better respect that. And what you do proves what you believe. So show up with that kind of a mindset, that you care, that you're humble, that you're thankful, that you have an appreciation for the small amount of time that you're here, and you want to leave your mark. And I tell them all the time, your best should be your trademark. Your best should be your trademark. Nothing more, nothing less. But it does matter because people are watching. And so I think it's great for our own players. It's your first time, other than once we start the season next year, this fall, that you get a chance to be in front of a 70,000+ people and see these guys get out on the field and operate and manage and play through all of it. And playing, in front of a packed house, it matters for them too as we develop our team. And so that's a tremendous advantage, for us. But I can't wait. And, the Palace is going to be popping inside and out. And our guys they're really excited to show you the improvement, the growth, the development. And every year you start completely over, good or bad. Just like I told a bunch of the guys that got here, whether it was a transfer guy or a guy that's, Gentry Williams, the #1 player in the state, several years ago, or Jackson Arnold, the top quarterback in high school last year. Their butts are in the back of the line earning it every day. And none of that stuff travels. You gotta line up, you gotta earn it. You're gonna get what you earn. Nobody's gonna give Oklahoma anything. This is a program we're gonna have to earn everything it gets because we don't sneak up on anybody. And so I want them, as we develop the team, to don't take that for granted either. And you got to be intentional about everything that you're doing. So, having a great atmosphere, to answer your question, is a tremendous, tremendous advantage. And for where we're trying to go, none of it's easy. And so this is the next step for us, and a chance for us as a program and certainly as a university to show that this place is uncommon. This is not the norm.
Brent, after Saturday, you'll cut this group loose, so to speak, hit a different part of the season. Do you know who the leaders of Team 129 are, who those guys are after these last 4 or 5 weeks?
That's a great question, and we're going to have captains tomorrow. You'll see, or Saturday rather, you'll see who the coaches have picked as their captains. And there's a lot of guys, when the coaches were choosing some for the game, he was like, boy, that's a great one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really, I'm like, how about that guy? What you're going to pick him, and you're not going to pick him? And they had some really tough decisions to make. So we've got great depth from a leadership standpoint. Really proud up to this point, and this is going to be a player-driven team. If we're going to have a successful season, it's going to take great leadership and guys that are willing to do things that are unpopular and be uncomfortable. And you can't lead, from the back. You got to get your butt in the front. And so it takes a lot of courage to be a leader, and a lot of toughness, and a lot of perseverance. Because a lot of times you're in that leadership role, and the people you're trying to lead, they're hard to kind of lead. And so I get that question from guys like, well, what if they're not listening? Well, you got to keep showing up. You got to wear their ass out. That's what you got to do. Like, you let them know you're not going away, and don't get bitter, get better through it, and find a better way to lead. You can't just yell at everybody. They listen to the coach when he's young because it feels like he has to. Player to player, you're gonna have to figure out another way. But show up every day and lead by example. But I really think we have a chance to have great leadership here. And then even some of the guys that are brand new, they've really plugged right in from a leadership standpoint. And understand the value of that. So, that's going to be a position of strength, in my opinion, for this team.
Do you think the fact that so much changes nowadays from year to year makes something like the spring game more important to the fans in terms of making that connection?
I didn't think about that until you just said it, but I can see, we've, again, got, I don't know how many it is, but we're going to run, 90+ guys out there, and so a third of them are going to be brand new, and then, everybody wants to see, the improvement, across the board with other players returning. But I'm sure that's a big part of it too. See the new players and what they're all about. And remember, this is just one practice. That's what I would tell everybody. Watch with caution. you know, there's going to be a body of work that you can be able to judge them all. But this is a great opportunity to see them run around in their uniform and try to block and catch and tackle and cover and all that kind of stuff. So I can see the excitement for that without question.
Because of the portal, Brent, do you have to coach different in the spring? Several years ago, coaches were reluctant to name a starting quarterback because they didn't want the quarterback leaving. But now anybody can leave anytime. Do you coach any different because of that?
No, I've always just tried to lead from a place of toughness, of honesty, of consistency. And I don't want to try to trick anybody into staying here. You know, I want guys that are completely committed. And look, we're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-olds, so I get it. Sometimes there's some real mature 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and sometimes there's some impulsive and emotional, guys that are not stable, and that's a real thing too, you know. And so, do you have to be sensitive to that? Yeah, but at the same time, you just be, open and honest, and, I'm willing to adapt and adjust, however I need to. But as far as coaching and developing the team, I'm just going to continue to be, who we are and who I've been.
Does it change how you operate depth charts or anything like that, where maybe a guy looks at it and says, okay, I've fallen behind a little bit and maybe I go? Does that get affected?
Well, you talk all the time about, not worrying. Again, this is pre-portal. Don't worry about depth charts, create value for yourself by how you do what you do. So when you get your opportunity, whatever that opportunity is, man, you be ready and do the most you can, the best you can with whatever opportunity you can. Not everybody has the same role on the team, but everybody has the same opportunity to create value for themselves. And so, that's what we focus on more than anything. And earn trust, be dependable and accountable and reliable and available too. You got to stay healthy, go to class, live right off the field, be a hard worker. Don't allow anybody in the program to work harder than you. Show up with a great attitude, be coachable, have some humility, and just put the work in. And this is a developmental game. So this is the developmental game. The portal and the way it stands now is development. But the game is a developmental game. You can't run from your problems. And so I challenge the guys all the time, face your giants. Don't listen to the outside noise. There's lots of people with opinions all the time. No matter where you go, it's going to be really, really hard. But when you come to this building, you're going to be shown value. You're going to be shown encouragement. There's going to be seeds of truth, seeds of, accountability. But this is a place where we're going to lift you up, and we're going to call you up, not call you out. But we're going to strain you and challenge you and take you to places you can't take yourself. But we're going to meet you where you're at. And so, again, we just try to be real and open and honest and connected, coming from a place of being genuine. And if that still ain't enough, we wish you well. And we're trying to, develop that and attract that too. And I know that I'm not naive. I get it. I know how sometimes it's not going to work out. But at the end of the day, we're going to be a relational program, not a transactional program, even in a transactional environment. When they walk into this building, it's not going to be that. And I do think that'll have an opportunity to allow us to quote unquote be different in some respects. We're not the only team that like that. I might act like, oh, okay, we're the only one that has that kind of a mindset, but that is our philosophy. And that is our culture. And again, this program has a soul, and I want these players to know that. And again, they're going to live a long life without the game of football, a long life. And so make the most of this opportunity, to grow in every part of your life. The football part's really important. And but there's a proven record, with this staff. And if you just stick to it and you show up every day and you keep working and grinding, this game will honor that. And don't look for the path of least resistance. Don't buy that lie. And again, every once in a while, the guy has been doing it for several years, and he just doesn't have a role of any sort. He needs to go find somewhere we can get a fresh start. That's good too. Or maybe he can't live up to the expectations, the standards, the values, the little things like going to class, go to tutors, show up on time, show up with a good attitude, give me great effort, live right off the field, don't screw up in the community. And again, we're here to help these guys, all of them, grow up and learn. But some guys will, they can't adhere to that. And that's a very small number, but that there is a number that maybe you need to find somewhere where you can go do whatever you want to do. You can show up whenever you want to show up. And coach can tell you it's good when it's absolutely not, and that it's good enough. And and again, I don't want to trick anybody to come to Oklahoma. I want them to have very clear vision about what our expectations are, what the standards are, how challenging it's going to be. And I don't think it's any different here than it is anywhere. When whatever locker room you go into, it's going to be really, really, really hard. And our job as a staff is to help them manage life that's really hard, and the game of football, that's really hard, the best that they possibly can. And they need that, they need that support. Life's complicated. Football's not real complicated. And these guys that's what they love to do. They're confident in doing, but it's still really hard and challenging. And so we want our guys to embrace that, embrace that vision. So some of that's anti-portal, but I got this big thick here thing. It's got all these accountability points here, and where we were a year ago at this time, 15 months ago, to where we're at today. These teams, there's 11 teams here made up. Our players drafted the teams, and there's everything from soul mission, nutrition, strength and conditioning, sports med, equipment, academics. We grade them on all of it, and we do it weekly. We keep it running tally, and then if we're negative in the points for the team, then they're running extra, and we can't find a way to make this team run. And it doesn't mean everybody's in the positive, but there's so much goodness on each team and that's the challenge. There's a few guys on each team that are okay with being at -1, -2. And we were -30 with some guys, plenty of guys, 12 months ago, in the 40s with some guys, and it's embarrassing. And we don't have anything remotely close to that right now. I got 2 guys that are in double digits in the negative, and it's not very far into the double digits, but that stuff matters. Those players that we're counting on that are right around 0 or maybe even in the -2, -4, those are the guys that are going to keep us from hanging a banner with this football team. And so what we got to do is get them, okay? We got to get them on the right side of it, and it's a group of guys that I believe will accept that challenge. Because you can't be a chameleon and just be an elite program. We can't be a great team if we got a bunch of chameleons on the team. So, everything they do matters. So just trying to help them grow up as strong men and better men are better Sooners and are better players.
Brent, last year at the end of spring, you identified quarterback as a spot that you'd like to get some depth in the post-spring portal. Are there any spots that you know already that you'd like to grab some depth at?
Yeah, I'm not going to announce it to anybody, but y'all will figure it out. And not much, but there are some spots we definitely need to. Mm-hmm.
Is that number crunch tougher than ever if you put a walk-on scholarship and then you have to go back and will you have to do that, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we put some of those guys on. Obviously, there's an arrangement and an agreement that this is what it's going to look like here in a few months. Yeah. So trying to help guys where we can and, make sure, that you're able to address all your needs and help everybody when you can, because the grind is and the demand's real for everybody. Even if they don't have like the substantial role out there, it's real for all of them. And so you want to, be able to support everybody if and when you can. But yeah, getting to the numbers is not an easy thing. There's a lot of moving parts.
Sure.
I don't know if it ever stops moving, to be honest with you. And I don't have, 10 years of experience to tell you, what it used to be like. Mm-hmm. I know I've been in a locker room as a player and coach for close to 40 years, but as a head coach that has to. It's easy when you're the assistant. He's like, yeah, can I get me 2 more linebackers? You know, and when I got all I need, you know, now you got to worry. You have to look at all of it, and you know, so. But it's a fun challenge. You know, I like it because everybody's playing with the same rules, you know, by the same rules. So I like that challenge. And it's a lot of fun for me, you know, as you putting it all together to find great people to be a part of it. Like that is super cool as you build it. To find great people. You know, that's what it's about to me. So it makes it a lot of fun. You know, I get like fulfillment knowing like these people are going to love this one. Mm-hmm. You know, even if he's not this amazing player, he's a good player, he's a role player, but he's amazing. Like this is a guy that people are going to be really attracted to. Like that's cool for me, you know, because he's going to be an ambassador, he's going to be alumni, and that's cool, you know, for us to be, you know, a small part of that.
Sooner Scoop HD.